And again, and what would that do? Being in my head, it would just sadness. Can't start off like that. What's up, boys and girls? So today I just want to talk really quickly about my personal experiences with how to overcome male sexual performance anxiety. Say that 10 times fast. You can't. I've tried. It's not going to happen. Anyways, yeah, I thought this would be kind of a different topic and a fun topic, and it probably will maybe help with some other people and give them some peace of mind like it did for me when I saw other people's videos. So anyways, this is not medical advice. This is my own personal experience. If you are having serious problems, if you smoke too much, drink too much, have a bad diet, don't exercise, don't sleep enough, or on any medications, you should probably talk to your doctor. But for the rest of us, we're going to go with this. Anyways, so if you're a healthy young guy or a healthy middle-aged guy or just a healthy guy in general, and you pretty much are trying to adhere to a healthy lifestyle, this may resonate with you. So when I was 22, that's when I first had sex, when I was 22, my first girlfriend. I was a late bloomer, don't judge me. When I was 22, the first time I had sex was probably like my fifth or sixth try of having sex. That being because the first four, I was incredibly nervous and anxious. And so I actually, after the second or third try, I thought there was something physiologically wrong with me. I was super attracted to my girlfriend. She was smoking hot in my eyes, and I just couldn't get it up. Went to the doctor, and I said, hey, doc, can you give me something? I'm just trying to have sex my first time, and I can't get it up. Nothing's happening. And he said, well, Zach, do you wake up in the morning with erections? And I thought, yeah, frequently. And he said, well, then your problem is not physiological. He goes, so I'm going to write you a little script for an anti-anxiety med. Take this before the next time before you have sex, and hopefully it'll help. So I had already had experiences with this anti-anxiety med when I was sick, going through all the cancer treatment, and it didn't function, didn't work for me. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm a little bit older. I'm 22 now, no longer 16 or 17. Maybe it'll work differently. So the next time that we tried, I remember I was like, okay, I was going over her house, and I thought, man, I have this little pill. I should just take it right now. And in my head, I just went, fuck it. And I'm just gonna let go and just kind of do whatever. And so went over there and let go and had a good time. And from then on, I can say that it's occurred at least 100 more times. It was actually a real deep concern with me and my wife when we first started dating, because our relationship was perfect otherwise, but I would just get in my head too much when we would have sex, and I would go from here, and within a matter of seconds I would just go downward, and she would take it personally, and it had nothing to do with her. It was all about me. And so, giving you all that background, I'm gonna share with you what experiences I came to find about myself. Number one, I have always thought in my own mind that I should be the pleasure center for the woman. I never wanted to be one of those guys that just got his and left her hanging. And so because I had conditioned myself to think that since I was 12 years old, maybe earlier, 10 years old, when I first started becoming interested in girls and the feminine form and sex, I always didn't want to be one of those guys that just did whatever I wanted. I wanted to be the guy that got the girl out 4 or 5 times, which I still have yet to do because I don't know why. Because my wife is kind of like a guy, and she just needs 1 or 2. And same with my ex, they just kind of stop after 2. Anyways, yes, I've only had sex with 2 people. But where was I going? I'm going off track. So I know I didn't. So I conditioned myself to not be one of those guys. Second thing, I thought sex should last I didn't want to be a 1-minute man. You know, you hear all the, I don't want a 1-minute man. And in my head I thought, you know, okay, I don't want to be, she doesn't want a 1-minute man. I have to condition my body to be able to last at least 15 minutes. Come on now. You know, this is just my own mind. 3, I always made it about my partner's pleasure. And I was always in my head thinking about their pleasure and not so much my own. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't, I didn't allow my body to feel that energy moving through and funneling out. So then I read a great book, David Dita, The Way of the Superior Man, incredible book, but unfortunately I didn't take the principles that he was talking about and actually practice them. I just made it more intellectual. So he talked about energy and movement and feeling your partner. And so again, when I would have sex, and this happened after I broke up with my ex, so this was with my wife now, I was like, you know, in my head I made it about her and her being a goddess and feeling her energy and never actually centering myself in my own body and allowing my own pleasure. And so those are pretty much the 4 things that happened to me. And I'm not even gonna lie, this still continually happens. Like, I still get in my head with sex. I just am a thinker. And so you probably watching this, hopefully you're a thinker too and you can resonate with this. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that thinkers and pleasers, men that want to please their female partner, we get out of our bodies, out of our center, and into our heads. And so I just kind of, over time, my wife, she's very patient most of the time. She was very annoyed at first with the sex because she's a very sexually expressive person. She wants, you know, to feel that embodiment, which is great to have in a partner, and especially when you're a thinker, to teach you. But she would always say, "Why are you thinking so much?" Like, she could feel me because we had that connection. She could feel me thinking, and I would just be having sex, and I would be like, okay, this is great. But I would just keep going because I wanted her to get off, and I wanted her to get off, and I wanted her to get off. And so that would always lead to her getting frustrated because she could feel my energy wasn't there, present with her. And so over time, and I'm going to be honest, this has taken years to finally learn about myself. And we've been together 6 years. 6 years? 2014. 6 1/4. Yeah, 6 1/4. February 16th was our first date. 2014. So 6 1/4. So it took me years to learn this about myself. And I would, even when we were having sex and I could feel myself getting out of my body, what would I do? I would start trying to imagine her. Imagine her as a character. Imagine her, it's still her, but imagine her in a different role. Imagine her as a teacher, or like, you know, different fantasies that I had. And again, and what would that do? Being in my head, it would just sadness. But I finally understood, and I finally started coming to realize that I want her as my partner. I want my wife to be fully present in the moment and to be enjoying it. And I'd never had thought that, oh, maybe she wants that as well in a partner. She wants me to be feeling it because that's what she gets off on, is my intensity, just as much as I get off on her intensity. But I just thought it was about her. It was about her, and I need to be a pleaser, and I need to last longer than 7 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't know, however many minutes. I need to keep going. I need to, and all those things just pulled me out of the moment with her. And so my practices since then, so that's like my own meanderings. Those are my own experiences, and you probably are having the same if you're watching this video. The things that helped me the most was actually making a conscious decision before we'd even have sex, like while we're getting into the moment, that I was going to allow my pleasure. And when I'm able to do that, she just will stop, like, after we get done, and she'll be like, where did that come from? You know, instead of me being in my mind and just trying to get her off, I'm allowing my pleasure through my body. And this is another practice that just comes with practice. But if you're a young guy right now and you're experiencing performance anxiety, my advice would be learn how to feel the pleasure not only in your genitals, but in your body. Feel the fullness of that energy in your body. Even when you're turned on, when you're aroused, when you're horny, and you don't even have a partner, to practice with, just feel that pleasure in your body. Let it move into your legs, let it move into your chest, let it open your heart. If you can feel that full body pleasure and you can just allow it, you're going to bring her in, and you're going to bring that out of her as well. You're going to penetrate through her walls with your fullness. And so for me, that's been a huge practice, is consciously going into having sex and just a statement to myself, internally, I'm going to feel my pleasure. Doesn't mean I'm not going to feel her pleasure, but it means that I'm going to make my pleasure important to me. And so as I've talked with guys that have had these same experiences, they're the same way. And so you're probably watching this, you're a pleaser. You want the woman to get off. You want your partner to be happy. You want to please her. You don't want to be the average, typical guy. And that's beautiful, but sometimes the average, typical guy is able to feel his pleasure, and that's what makes him a better partner, a sexual partner, at least at times, because that guy can feel his own pleasure, and that pleasure spills out into his partner and allows her to fill up her cup as well. Other things, meditation, I meditate every day, but it didn't help because I wasn't in my body. There are literally no supplements that I've tried them all. Nothing has worked for me. Taking an estrogen blocker worked for me when I was trying to re-stimulate my sperm count because of the radiation of my testicles, and getting my testosterone levels to double naturally from the estrogen blocker. That worked, but then that messed with my hormones for months later, 3 times as long as I took the medication. So I had a really up and down time with my body in general after that time, so I wouldn't suggest that. But really, it's those 4 characteristics. If you're noticing those 4 characteristics about yourself, not wanting to be the average guy in time, not wanting to be the average guy in selfishness, pleasing, and then whatever the other 4th one I said was, and not making it about your own pleasure. Those 4 characteristics are really like a pattern if you talk to your male friends who are experiencing it, or you hear from other guys. And so my final suggestion would be, learn to feel your body, learn to feel that arousal in the entirety of your body. And that only happens by it's not like some master skill or anything like that. It's just by almost allowing, like closing your eyes when you are feeling horny and allowing it to spill out, you know what I mean? Like the energy to spill out up through the chest, into the arms, down through the legs, and just let it fill you from that center. Feel whole, feel full. And it could be that, you're just getting older. I know sometimes I'm getting older, and when I don't sleep enough or when I'm stressed out, I don't have any arousal. I never thought I'd be that way when I was 20 years old. Like, I'll never feel that way. But as a 33-year-old, I'm like, yeah, I do feel that. I don't feel that same amount of heat in my body and that same amount of intensity. It's redirected into different areas. So, when I am feeling that, I now, it's my practice to feel that in my body. And then when we are engaging in anything, whether we're just making out and cuddling, or if we are having sex, I remind myself, make this about your pleasure while being mindful of her, of Shauna. Be mindful of her. Be present in this moment right now. That's where meditation helps with this. Be present right now in your body, feeling the fullness of this gift, of this experience, to be with a person, who you care about and can share these emotions with and this energy with, and move that between the two of you. It's a wonderful thing when you're there. But yeah, that's my suggestion, is to allow your pleasure. Be selfish to a point. Be selfish to the point where you are feeling how good it feels just to be in that moment, in the physical action, and then let that overflow into, if you want to have an orgasm, have an orgasm. You can look at other guys who don't have orgasms. I tried that. It doesn't work for me. It's not my thing. It gets me in my head when I'm like, oh, squeeze this muscle and squeeze that muscle, blah, blah, blah. I just like to feel the fullness. When we're talking about source energy, when we're talking about conscious energy, spiritual energy, it's a never-ending stream, and so that energy will reflow. So you're not getting rid of anything. But yeah, anyways, that was a long explanation. So, how to overcome male sexual performance anxiety? Get into your body. Allow your pleasure. And you can, if you are a thinker like me, you can think about it. What does your partner like? What is the energy that she or he, if you're a gay couple or a gay man watching this, what is your partner seeking, from you? Or what do you seek from your partner? What do you like in your partner? Do you like when your partner's just kind of laying there or just kind of going through the motions? Or do you like when your partner is present 100% in the moment with you, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally? If you like that, then the practice should be to give that. And in giving that, the two of you come together into this crescendo and explode into complete endlessness, into complete consciousness. That's the ultimate goal. But yeah, good book. I would suggest reading The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. Fantastic book. I'll attach the link in the bottom. And he's got plenty of videos on YouTube. Sometimes you just can get too thinky with things, and I've noticed that thinking never works for me. I already know what I need to do. It's the behavior that I need to implement. What did Bruce Lee say? Knowing is not enough. You must do. Doing is not enough. You must apply. So we need to apply that in the moment. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like. Appreciate you guys. And I'll talk to you next time. See you later. Bye.